What's up, Airgun nerds? I want to talk chronographs. Now, had a couple questions. What chronograph would you suggest for your air rifle and that? And that's, it's kind of an easier question, believe it or not, because we have different types of shooting sports. We have archery, regular firearms, and then air rifles, and probably more. But I'll break it down to really simplistic stuff. So the top three, the archery, you have chronographs that probably go up to 600 feet per second. It's, probably gonna, you got the generic ones, which we'll talk about the different types. But yeah, 600, 700 feet per second for archery is probably the top of what it can measure. Then you have air guns, which, 12, 13, 1400 feet per second, maybe more. And then you have like regular firearms, which is like 5,000 feet per second. But there's different types and capabilities with those that you got to take into consideration. It depends what you want. I'm a very simplistic way, but the bottom line, the simplest one is, let's take this rifle. All it does is it measures, it's got a chronograph built into the barrel, and it measures feet per second. The feet per second spread, right out of the barrel. Boom, you're good to go, 600. The next shot, it will measure that. Now the next step up is something like the FX chrono system, where it can measure a shot string, 20 to 100 shots, and give you your extreme spread and everything. You don't have to write it down. It's going to calculate it all out there for you, and it's pretty cool. That's what this does as well. You can get a shot string and kind of can see how consistent your rifle is and how well it's in tune. And then you go to the big dog, the lab, which will calculate like ballistic coefficient, and it does a lot of other stuff at different distances. As you guys can guess, the more you go up in capabilities, the more expensive it is and the bigger the size. So let's get into the types of technology that these things run on. First, we have the common chrono. You can use this for archery, firearms, and all that. It has like little inlets. It's contrast based. Something flies across here. It measures it in this point. This point gives you a time differential and gives you your feet per second spread. But the downside is, if you just use it like this, you need really good lighting, and it's damn huge. It's really big. You need a tripod or something to put it on a table. You can't use this usually in an indoor range because you just need so much space to put it away. If you put it on a tripod outdoors, generally you have a ceiling if you're shooting on a bench. So again, it doesn't necessarily grab it. And if you put it outside where there's the sun, it catches the wind, it can blow over. I've had all this stuff happen. And then they have these little lights. You could put on these little lights, exterior lights, which help the horrible lighting conditions. So if you were indoors shooting, you could do that, but you have to have extra pieces and all kinds of frames to make it happen. Not my favorite. And then let's go to the second version. It's a smaller version of this. This is how the chronograph works. And this is, you have two LEDs. It's kind of self-illuminated, meaning you don't have to put extra stuff on there and illuminate it. It's all in the barrel. And that has one LED. The projectile goes out, it measures time here, time there, and gives you your feet per second. But it's all encompassed, and it's super, super small, as you guys can see. And then there's the third way, the radar. This is an FX radar system. It uses radar waves, kind of put it underneath your barrel, projectile comes out, and boom, it's measuring the time where it's at here, where it's at there, and it's giving you the feet per second. It can totally work in darkness. The nice thing about that is, and it's got a Bluetooth kind of sync up. So, very similar systems out there. If you look for Airgun chronographs, they have some that you can just put on the end of the barrel and shoot it that way, where it's not firearm ready. It's not made for a firearm. It's low foot-pounds of energy. And essentially it does what this does. It's a one shot, you can measure it, and you're good to go. As you can tell, I would highly suggest you get something that is small, because as you know, we carry air tanks and a bunch of ammo and a bunch of guns with us. Do you really want a big setup like this that you also got to try a tripod, and you can only use it like half the time? Indoor range, I can't use this. Outdoor range, I can use it, but I have to set it out outside the area. And then if it falls over, I'm like, hey guys, my chrono fell over, and it's just, that's the piece there. As far as usability, advantages to something in barrel, in line. As I mentioned, Airgun had a $100 unit a couple of years back. I don't think he has them anymore, but I think other places sell them. And the reason why I would suggest you get something simple is for us air guns guys, you can tune your gun at home if you need to, pellet trap, get that thing, look at the speed, the differentiation. That's where this even doesn't work, and something in line is much better because you can just kind of put this up against a pellet trap and not have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. Second, if you got something small like this, now this will bolt on to a lot of the FX guns, the under rails, and that is, if you're just at the range and you're just target shooting and you just want to know like, whoa, that shot was off, you automatically know. It gives you the feet per second, you're good to go. Third is if you're hunting, which I always do, just if I'm taking shots just out in the field, I'll take a shot, and if something goes wrong, if something like, wow, that was way off, I look at my feet per second just to make sure, like, well, is that projectile related? Is that me? Is that the wind? Like, what's going on here? And you want to make sure that it's just a sanity check for your rifle all the time. If you know the speed that it's shooting at, you kind of at least have one variable you can kick out. And it's super, ultra, uber, uber friendly for your air gun. And I'm working on different mounts to use the FX stuff for my Condors and other rifles just to bolt it on. And I'll probably always have it with me on the rifles as I take it out moving forward there. But there you go, guys. Make sure, just look for the air gun stuff. It's definitely worth it. Super small, lightweight, generally not super expensive, and it definitely helps out. Comments, questions below, and hopefully I will see you next week.